Leadership from the perspective of faith is not a design to get ahead or determine the future. Leadership from the perspective of faith describes a life composed of a series of choices which are marked by serving the common good rather than what is best for oneself or a chosen few. There are several characteristics or markings of these choices that we are now exploring. The first 3 weeks of this series, we looked at what leadership is all about, and now we're looking at the markings of what serving is all about. Remembering Greenleaf's response to the question, what can I do to be a leader? And he said, choosing to serve. Now, we've explored the marking of foresight, making choices with one foot in the present and one foot in the future, rather than one foot in the present and the other foot in the past. Then we explored persuasion, choosing to witness by persuasion, convincing others by telling one's own story, and raising questions rather than coercing others to agree. This week, we're exploring a third marking of service. That is a commitment to the growth of others. Now, when this marking is named, one immediate truth emerges. For many, the growth of others is not a commitment, but rather it is a threat. One of the arenas where this marking can be observed is in a world that I am entertained by, the world of sports and athletics. The story of two quarterbacks is pretty well known. One was the starter. The other was a rookie. The starter to be someday. But the current starter had a choice. Would he keep his insights and knowledge to himself? Or would he share his experience, all that he had learned, with the rookie? He made his choice. As a member of the team, he was committed to the growth of the rookie. He was a mentor, which led to him leaving the team, being replaced by the rookie who he helped grow and who took his place. See, the best member of any team, on or off the field, is the one who makes the choice to be committed to the growth of others. Another story is of two classroom teachers. In their exit interview from the experience of practice teaching, they were asked to name their professional goal. One answered, to be the best classroom teacher in the district. The other answered, to have my students be the best learners they have the potential to be. What a difference. For one, the answer was all about themselves, the teacher, to be the best teacher. For the other answer was all about the others, the students. wanting them to be the best learners. See, the best professional in any field, work, or career is the one who makes the choice to be committed to the growth of others. It's a marker of leadership, and it's a marker of serving that penetrates every arena of life. In family relationships, it is often obvious when parenting is focused on making the parents look good, rather than parents being committed to the growth of their children to realize their own potential. In faith communities and local congregations, it is often obvious when the life of the church is focused on making the congregation pure and clean, rather than serving others who are the least of these, who are often in need. Empires can easily be observed making choices between what is good for the empire rather than what is good for the common good of all. You see, being committed to the growth of others works in the family, works in the church, works in communities, indeed, works in the global community. You see, as followers of Jesus, we follow the one who in every situation made the choice to be committed to the growth of others. There's no better insight into this choice of Jesus being committed to the growth of others than the commitment of Jesus to forgive. Forgiveness is always for the sake of the other. Forgiveness is the door of opportunity for new relationships and new beginnings. On the other hand, making the choice to refuse to forgive often closes the doorway of growth for the other. Oh, to be sure, forgiveness is a healthy experience for the one who forgives. However, why we are called to forgive is not for the sake of ourselves. It is for the possibility it offers for growth in the one who is forgiven. You see, Jesus' call to forgive 70 times 70 was not for the sake of the forgiver. It was the act of commitment for the growth of the one that was forgiven. Jesus' blessing, your sins are forgiven. That was not to benefit Jesus. It was for the commitment to the growth of that person. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Was not a prayer to benefit Jesus. It was for the benefit of those who chanted, kill him. When he taught us to pray, as we forgive those who trespass against us, that was not a prayer for the forgiver to look good, but it was for the sake of others, that they might grow in care, in grace, and in peace. You see, in exploring the life and teachings of Jesus, it is clear that one of the markings of being a servant is to be committed to the growth of others. in the family, in neighborhoods, in faith communities, in work, at play, in the global community. You see, from the perspective of faith, the servant parent is one who is committed to the growth of their child. The servant teacher is one who is committed to the growth of other teachers and the growth of students. The servant public official is the one who is committed to the growth of all citizens. Yes, servants have a common mark, a common characteristic. You can see it so clearly and plainly. Servants are committed to the growth of others. For your thought and conversation, in your own journey of faith, what are your experiences of your growth in faith being enriched or diminished by others? When have you observed a helping hand intending to keep another in their place rather than enabling them to grow? What are your stories of a person refusing to forgive, stifling growth in the life of the other? Thank you for being a part of our work.